Doug Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to the first edition of Portsmouth This Week, a weekly discussion.
And that's how it all started. In April 2012, John Klim, the newly appointed town administrator of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, was searching for ways to better get the word out to the citizens of Portsmouth. Coming from being the town administrator of Barnstable, Massachusetts, where he had a TV studio and a crew at his disposal, he didn't have similar resources in Portsmouth.
Well, several years ago, I kept hearing from Portsmouth citizens that they felt a disconnect with local government. They might know what happened at a certain meeting, but they rarely knew why. So we put together a community outreach package to get vital information out to the community on a timely basis. And it also gave our department heads and staff an opportunity to answer the all-important question about why a certain thing is happening. And so we were able to use television thanks to the dedication of an incredible group of volunteers to make that happen.
But he soon found out that he did have the resources. Maybe not in the town studio with a paid staff, but with a state-provided system and a group of volunteers. Doug Smith, Gary Gump, and Rich Talipsky came forward to figure out how the program could be run.
When John brought the idea up, I thought it was a great one, and we did have several of us had a little bit of experience with an earlier TV series called It's the Economy, and I know we had several volunteers, and we could probably find some other folks in the community, which is very easy to do in Portsmouth if you ask the right people. So we're able to put this thing together, and I'm amazed that we got through 100 shows already.
Newport County Television is part of the statewide PEG, or Public Education and Government TV system, that provides professional equipment, studios, and a professional coordinator.
Portsmouth This Week is one of the best uses of PEG Access TV that I've seen. It's this great resource for town officials, school officials to communicate with the people of the town, answer their questions about how things work. It's a great opportunity for local nonprofits to come on the program and get their word out. It's this great free resource to the town, and I think the credit for this goes to this great volunteer crew that come out and been doing this the last couple of years and done 100 shows, so I congratulate them on that.
The assets of the PEG system are available to the citizens of the state to produce their own original TV programming. Rich had been working as a volunteer at the Newport County TV studio, physically located in Portsmouth, for years, and had received a number of awards for his video work, including 2 awards for the best PEG TV productions in the state. Well, it's amazing the amount of technical things that go on with a program like this. We're very fortunate to have the studio of Newport County TV and coordinator Brian Medeiros helping us, but we really needed a crew of people. There's some technical aspects of camera and sound and graphics and direction, and we're able to bring a group of great people together, volunteers that hadn't done it before, and we made it work. The series was then off and running with a weekly program called Portsmouth This Week. Except for the studio's professional coordinator, Brian Medeiros, it would require our volunteer staff to do every other aspect of production. Doug Smith and Jeff Richard agreed to be the show's hosts. The first few shows featured discussions with John Klim, but quickly expanded to other town officials and community and state leaders. Gary Gump took on the task of lining up guests for the show.
Well, I think, as we've already talked about a little bit, the program is coming up on its 100th anniversary, 100th show anniversary. And coming into the end of the year, it seemed like every week we were scrambling to find somebody to come on the show. And I kind of made my New Year's resolution this year to commit to scheduling, or to try to go out and regularly, routinely schedule a couple months ahead. So what I've been doing is systematically going through all the town committees, all the other entities in our town that people are impacted by, to ask them to come on the show. And I must say so far that by being a little bit of a pain and constantly going after them, we're getting them lined up. So I'm happy to say right now that we're about 2 months ahead.
A number of volunteers were recruited, and even though most had little or no TV production experience, they were fast learners and picked up the TV production tasks such as camera operation, sound, and graphics.
Well, I think I've been with Portsmouth this week pretty much from the inception of it. And for me, it's just an opportunity to give a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour once a week to bring the voice of the town hall to the people of Portsmouth.
Well, I came into the show very late in the process, and of course I had never seen any of this equipment before, all new to me. And being a former Navy guy, I was very reluctant to turn any valves or push any buttons if I didn't know what they did. So it's taken a long time, but with Brian Medeiros' able help, he's a real expert. Now I know how to push a few buttons and turn a few knobs.
So each week, the volunteer staff got together at the TV studio and taped the half-hour show. The production format would be live to tape, meaning that it would be shot as one continuous 30-minute live segment with little or no editing done after the taping. The show tried to cover all the important aspects of town life and operation. It did not shy from discussing even the most controversial subjects.
The results of a study that you did here in Portsmouth.
49% of 12th graders, both male and female, I mean, there was maybe a 1 or 2 point differential between the male and the female. 49% had used marijuana.
Half.
Half. I mean, so that's our leaders. That's our sports captains.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are basically, we look to every single day as peer models. All right? 65% had used alcohol. So do we have a problem? I mean, I think that's, quite frankly, a shocking number.
Our special guests today are Ray Davis, the coordinator for the Portsmouth Prevention Coalition, Marianne Ramo, the chairperson of the coalition, and Jenny Swider, the program director for the Chris Herron Project. And our topic is going to be Project Purple, which is a national anti-substance abuse awareness campaign that will start next Monday in Portsmouth and nationwide.
Is a very vital and current issue, and that is the tolling, potential tolling, I should say, of the Secundit River Bridge, which is now open for traffic. A very controversial issue, particularly for those of us living on our island here.
Sure. So the Turnpike and Bridge Authority has always had a structural problem with its finances ever since we took the toll off of the Mount Hope Bridge, and even before that, because that toll wasn't giving us enough revenue to maintain that bridge. At the time, the thought was that the toll on the Pell Bridge would be enough to maintain both. Fast forward to now, and what you have are two aging bridges with high maintenance costs and one toll plaza to support both of them.
One of the several budget busters, long-term budget busters under consideration was our pension system, where for years decisions were made to give additional benefits without putting aside the necessary funding.
Everyone who may have been subject to the act received letters in December of last year, and this is an important point. DEM doesn't know who was going to be subject to the act. They have a pretty good idea, but they had no idea. So they sent out, they did some mapping and decided, they came up with a list of 471 people, homeowners in Portsmouth that may be subject to the act.
Public safety was high on the list of programming priorities, and a number of shows were done to educate the public on both the services available from the town and what they could do for themselves to prepare for emergencies.
The role of the emergency manager in the town is to provide guidance to the chief executive officer and ensure a coordinated response between the response agencies. Your first responder agencies are your police department, fire department, emergency medical services, Department of Public Works, and non-governmental agencies such as the Red Cross. They all speak the language of NIMS and all operate under the National Response Framework.
It came to light after Tropical Storm Irene that we didn't do a great job of public information, communicating the events in real time to the public. We took a look at that and we came up with a three-pronged approach of public information. We use our local broadcast media. We also have a website now, an emergency management website. It's separate from the town website, and we can update that in real time. We also have social media outreach. We have accounts on both Facebook and Twitter. The Internet Public Information Unit is entirely staffed by volunteers.
You know, we found out that a lot of people use social media in the town. We have thousands of email accounts. I think the last count was 17,000 social media accounts in just Portsmouth, more than people we have in Portsmouth, because people have multiple accounts. Some people use Twitter, some people use Facebook, people go to the web. So we thought that you know, that's a great way to get information out to the people. In fact, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has talked about this, and they have specific procedures to use these social media in emergency events. So
What is your advice, John, for people going forward in the winter here? What should they do to prepare for the next winter storm?
Well, if you don't have your 72-hour kit, get it now. One of the things I was delighted to see just before Hurricane Sandy was that Clements Market had a 72-hour kit at the door, laid out on a table, all the things you needed for a 72-hour kit. That hit people right as they walked in the door, and I can't thank our friends at Clements enough for doing that. Have your 72-hour kit, go to the federal government's ready.gov website, heed the information there, act on that information, and realize that 72 hours is a bare minimum, that you should be prepared to survive on your own.
the show often put town and state elected officials on the spot.
Anybody who has an additional comment or a change that they would like to see, a comment against the submitted charter changes or a suggested new charter change, they can be placed on the agenda for consideration in the workshop.
Seems to be a disconnect between the government and the business community, and I'm really looking to help work on that. I'm on the Small Business Committee and I'm on the Corporations Committee, which deal with some of those issues, so I'm really pleased to be on those committees. And so that's one, is the small business community and just economic development in general. And the education is very important to me, and particularly early education. And even now, the research shows that from kindergarten to from birth to age 3 is one of the most important times in a child's life, and that's
I love that general approach. Let's start talking about the economy, because it's not what you're typically hearing out in the media. There's so much going on, particularly at the Senate level, with regard to the package that hopefully everyone has heard about, called Moving the Needle.
I think that we, the delegation from Portsmouth, certainly making our voices heard to the leadership. I mean, they don't become leadership unless we vote for them. Yeah. So, I mean,
That's
they have
an important point.
You know, so, you know, this is an important issue.
Why are we shelling out more money for that? That's a small item on their budget, but still, it's another redundancy. So I don't really think we need to have 2 redundant organizations.
Yeah. And I've said this every time I've run for office, and I will say it again. The only way you're really going to move that needle in a positive way for a homeowner is to change the ratio in the tax base. You got to bring in more commercial, more of the mixed resort residential.
The show at times went on location to go right where the action was.
Which is kind of the central place where calls come in and where actions are taken and are started here. Okay, we're up in the Emergency Operations Center, which is in the 2nd floor of the firehouse.
This is our whiteboard that we have set up here, and this is a real neat piece of equipment that we were able to purchase. It's hooked up to a computer, and it actually, we go on this and link into the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency.
Like, I know every firehouse is supposed to have a pole, and this is your pole. How does this work? What do you need to do to get down there?
Well, we do use this pole, and I don't think you can see it on camera, but it's actually closed up at this time where the hole is, and that's just kind of to keep the heat downstairs in the wintertime. But when you pull down on the pole, it actually opens up those doors automatically. So if you'd like, I'll give you a quick instruction on how to use it, and then I'll actually go down the pole and catch you on the other side. All right. So the first thing we do, and this is for all the kids that come in to visit us as well, we want to hold the pole securely with both hands. I'm going to kind of switch sides here, Doug. So we have both hands on the pole. And then what we do is we put the outside of our right leg up against the pole like that. And then the other leg will just wrap around like that. All right? And then with that, we're ready to go. Okay. And hop up there and just kind of point you through a few things if that'll
we
work.
could probably do that.
So here we are in the back of our ambulance. Obviously we have a stretcher. This is actually a power cot. So in the older days we would have to, you know, kind of bend down and lift the stretcher up like this in order to wheel the patient out. Now it's simply the push of a button, and it's kind of a hydraulic piston that just raises it up automatically, which is cut down on back injuries and just provides kind of more of a smoother transition for the patient.
You can see where the guy's pumping it out there
And
now.
then it's going up into our ladder pipe, and you can see him squirting it.
Yeah.
So we'll typically use this at a large fire where we have a heavy volume of fire. Maybe we've pulled all of the firefighters out of the building, and we're doing what we refer to as a defensive operation.
Okay, Mike, well listen, thanks so much for showing us around. I found it fascinating, all the gear you have and all the training you do. I think we're very lucky to be able to see the actual ladder truck up and doing the pumping hooked up to one of your pumper trucks. So I think we were lucky to get a real inside look at the firehouse here. I'd like to just express my own gratitude for all the hard work you and your folks do here. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
We're filming today at the Portuguese American Club where they're hosting our clam boil. And I got to tell you, the food's excellent. VIP guest here today is John Clem, our town administrator. John, what do you think of this setup here?
Well, it's absolutely great to be here and see so many folks come out. You know, it's surprising as a relative newcomer to the town how few people have a full understanding of the history. And this is such an important part of the history of Portsmouth. So it's nice to see such a great crowd, and I'm really looking forward to some of the speeches.
It's a wonderful thing for me to be here to add my congratulations to all of you who have worked hard to bring this place of both beauty and acknowledgement to reality.
You know, we had this today. This was the first time that we actually fixed up this place. I don't know if you were ever here before.
I have never been here before, and I honestly didn't know. I've seen the sign for Founders Brook, but I had no idea.
Okay, you saw that tiny little sign?
I didn't know what it referred to.
Well, so now we have a bigger sign, and we have these beautiful stone benches brought in by Foss Media and Elizabeth Vangel. They did such a great job. But I particularly appreciated your remarks at the end of the, towards the end of the ceremony here for Ann Hutchison. I'm here today with at the ceremony for the Blue Star Memorial, and the immediate past president of the Garden Club, Annette Jarvis, is here with me this morning. Okay, now I'm here with Bob Edenbach, the Newport Artillery Company. These guys are our big-time supporters in our 375th events anyway, and I'm delighted they're here today. Bob, what do you think of this event?
Well, I think it's fantastic. Anytime you can honor a veteran who has put in his time and upheld the flag and make sure the flag flies high, it's a worthy event.
The show went international when they did a special production of the show from Portsmouth, England, when the Portsmouth 375th Anniversary Committee and town officials were invited to the making ceremony of the Lord Mayor of Portsmouth.
Greetings from Portsmouth, UK. We've arrived here, it's about midday.
I'm here at the Spice Island Inn in beautiful downtown Portsmouth, England. And one of our hosts here, Matthew, is he's shown us around this beautiful city.
Well, I've taken a lot of pictures so far. I'm going to be posting them on Facebook when I get back. It's a beautiful city with a lot of beautiful architecture. It's much bigger than Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Lots of similarities to Newport. We just saw a fort that is on the water, just like, much like Fort Adams. And I've had great discussions with the other two counselors. And it's been a great day. Thanks.
Of course, as we sit here, we notice that right behind us is a local ferry, obviously much larger than the ferries that we're used to going over to Prudence Island. But I have really been struck at the hospitality shown by several members of the City Council. We'll be spending the next 3 or 4 days with them, and it's really been incredible, and we can't wait for representatives of Portsmouth, England to be our guests around Labor Day.
There, they formally invited the new Lord Mayor to visit Rhode Island during the 375th celebration during Labor Day weekend in 2013.
Whereas the Town Council of the Town of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, wishes to extend their congratulations and best wishes to the newly appointed Lord Mayor of our namesake city, Portsmouth, England. And whereas the Town of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, USA, desires to issue a formal invitation for the Lord Mayor of Portsmouth, England to attend our 375th anniversary celebration events from August 28th to September 2nd, 2013, and to enter into a discussion regarding the establishment of a sister city relationship with Portsmouth, England. And whereas this official delegation is comprised of Town Council member Elizabeth Pedro, School Committee member Andrew Kelly, Town Administrator John Clem, and Portsmouth's 375th Steering Committee members Esmond D. Smith, that would be me, Chairman, Gary Gump, Vice Chairman, Richard Talipsky, Publicity Chairman, and Robert Hamilton, Events Co-Chair. The members of this official delegation wish to extend a formal invitation to the Lord Mayor of Portsmouth, England, to attend the Town of Portsmouth, Rhode Island's 375th celebration events. Now, therefore be it resolved that I, James Seveny, the President of our Town Council, by the authority granted me as the President of the Portsmouth Town Council, on behalf of the citizens of the Town of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, extend the hand of friendship and goodwill to our neighbors across the sea. Signed, James A. Seveny, President, Portsmouth Town Council.
The Honorable Town Council of the Town of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, United States of America, requests the pleasure of your company of the Right Worshipful the Lord Mayor and Lady Mayoress of Portsmouth, Hampshire, United Kingdom, to a celebration of events on the occasion of the 375th anniversary of the founding of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, from Thursday, the 29th of August, through Sunday, the 1st of September, in the year of our Lord, 2013. Thank you very much.
The Lord Mayor accepted the formal invitation and came to Portsmouth for our grand 375th celebration during Labor Day weekend in 2013.
I'm here with the Lord Mayor of Portsmouth, England, Lynn Stagg. Lynn, what do you think of our parade today?
Absolutely fantastic and just wonderful, really wonderful.
It's really, I think it gives you a flavor of our small town and the community we've got. And yeah, I was quite gratified to see as many people out there. As I say, but you guys were the rock stars. Everybody wanted to wave to you.
Well, we had such a wonderful welcome, and we've had a tremendous welcome since we arrived, but people were shouting to us, welcome, thank you for coming. I just want to say it was a pleasure, and yeah, never regretted a minute of it.
And now this is our 100th show. And if you missed any of them, here you go.
Thanks very much. See you next time.
This is our 100th show of Portsmouth This Week. I'd like to thank our show's leadership, that includes our hosts, Doug Smith and Jeff Richard, our producer, director, Rich Talipsky, and show scheduler, Gary Gump. We also could not have done the show without our volunteer crew of Bob Hamilton, Ray Keller, Dave Miller, and Jennifer Nelson. We thank the Rhode Island Public Education and Government TV Service and the Newport County TV Studio and its coordinator, Brian Medeiros. Without their studio, professional equipment, and expertise, this program could not have been possible. I hope that this series has brought important, relevant information and insight to the citizens of Portsmouth. We appreciate your comments and suggestions and look forward to continuing our programming with our 101st show next week.